Hello, welcome to the Lone Show. I'm your host, John Malone. In this episode, I don't have any regulars because it's been a long, long week. As for our guest, he's from Boras, Louisiana, currently in Lucedale, Mississippi. He's an actor, voice actor, radio interviewer and producer, radio promoter, DJ, and also a writer. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Trey Olds.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Anytime. So, how's life?
Doing well. Been busy. Still doing radio interviews, but been writing mostly. I've been working on a project of my memoir about my life, starting as an actor at age 13 and being high functioning autistic in the entertainment industry, and people I've worked with, acted with, interviewed, and been doing good. It's a interesting project I'm working on, and I'm doing a few other things, and I'm just enjoying life.
Oh, okay, sounds good. So, what is it you're doing right now?
Well, I still do interviews. I've interviewed a few actors recently. Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong. It's an American comedy group, and mainly writing some stories and some screenplays I'm trying to dabble at, and haven't done theater in a long time. Probably haven't done theater in about a year or so, and I still do occasional voiceover narrations and promotions, and just a little bit of everything every now and then.
Intriguing. And do you ever have plans on getting back into theatre at any point?
Well, yes, but right now I'm just focusing on interviewing and voiceovers. I would like to do more theater, but just where I'm at right now, it's kind of slowed down. So it's where I'm at is not very theater based. I do a lot of community theater, and I work with universities and colleges and stuff with their theater department, but haven't had the opportunity to do that recently, but hope to in the future.
Hmm. Nice, nice. How long has your how long has your radio show been going on for?
Well, I started in the industry professionally at age 13, started doing voiceovers, and then dabbled into theater, and then finally did my own radio show, the podcast. So I've been doing my radio show for about, gosh, 9, 10 years now.
Wow, that's madness. If you could travel to anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Well, I like to travel. I haven't traveled much in a long time. I've only been to a few of the other states in the U.S. Never traveled outside the U.S., but I would like to go to Canada or the United Kingdom because just I've done a lot of research on them, on those places, and it's very because I'm an actor. I like places with theater and where it's actor based. In the United Kingdom, it's very their actors are very much revered there, and I would like to go to United Kingdom, and my ancestry is from Scotland, so I would like to see track down my roots there, and just I think I'd enjoy it. It sounds like a lovely place.
Okay, that's cool. Have you heard of Media City UK?
Say that again.
Have you heard of Media City UK?
No, no, I haven't.
Well, it's a industry specific, media specific sector in the city of Greater Manchester, where there's like half of the studios from the BBC, ITV, maybe Channel 4. that we're all based, and all, like half of the UK's media is like produced here, well, with the other half sprawling across London, Glasgow, Cardiff, wherever. So yeah, a lot of media comes from that one city, which is like a couple miles away from where I'm from.
Wow, that sounds very interesting.
Yeah, in fact, if you watch the BBC, like the BBC Breakfast Show, their
Yeah,
studios is literally based like really close to where I'm from. It's pretty cool actually.
yeah, yeah. I watch a lot of media from the UK, BBC, ITV, and well, ITV's in Ireland, but still, uh, yeah, it's interesting and it's very different to me, at least, than American media. But it's very interesting.
Yes, it sure is. So, would you rather have extra toes or extra fingers?
Extra fingers, because I I guess I could use a bit more hands. I could do a lot of more things if I had extra fingers or extra hands. I could get a lot more stuff done.
Hmm. All right then, sounds good. If you had a song for every time you entered the room, what song would that be?
Hmm. Well, that's a good question. I like a lot of the classic musics, like oldies, like Frank Sinatra and Elvis and all that. I really can't. It would be something from Frank Sinatra, but I can't really nail anything down. I guess I'll just throw out Blue Moon.
Interesting choice. I like it. So, okay, I got a question from the top of my head.
Shoot, go ahead.
So, so you know how calculators work, right?
Yes.
But what if someone who invented a calculator made it a calculator for different reasons besides what the calculator originally intended for? How would the world function if the calculator was made for a different purpose besides what it's usually intended for? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it would be very interesting because I know, for me at least, I use a calculator because I'm not very good at math at all. I can do a little bit in my head, but as for multiplication and division, I have to use a calculator. And well, if it's was for a different use, if it was a different format, it'd be interesting. I don't know what it'd be used for, but it should be entertaining.
Oh yes, absolutely. And another thing, would you rather be teleported 500 years into the future or 500 years to the past?
Well, uh, that's an interesting question too. I would say the past because I'm a big fan of history. I'm a history buff. I love learning about past events and everything, and I would like to be, and a lot of people say, well, they were someone in a past life, uh, all that, and I would say in the past, it would be interesting what my life would be, but I could say probably in the future because we don't know what the future would be in 500 years. It'd be interesting. I mean, we sort of know what the past was in 500 years ago and all that, but we don't know what will happen in 500 years in the future. So it's a double-sided coin, I think, but it would both be interesting outcomes.
Hmm, yeah, I can see that. What stats for your life would you most like to see?
Well, I I am very creative. I like to be creative. I'm a very creative mind. If and I guess that's a part of my autism, being autistic. But I can't see my life without creativity. I do something creative. I try to do something creative almost every day. I either write or draw or paint or uh, voiceovers or act is another part of creativity. So if I can't have creativity, my life wouldn't be worth anything to me, you know.
Hmm. All right then. Okay, another question from the top of my head.
Sure.
Have you ever heard of a drink called banana friche?
I haven't, no.
So basically, it's like a banana smoothie and milkshake, hybrid combination, whatever.
Hmm.
And it's very intriguing. It's fluffy, slushy, but also bubbly at the same time. It's mind-boggling, really.
It sounds very interesting, although I probably wouldn't try it because I'm allergic to banana. I can't have banana. So wouldn't
Oh,
be a
fair
good
enough.
idea. Wouldn't be a good idea if I tried that.
Yeah, you're right. I guess that makes sense. What is the best way to start the morning?
Well, I get up very. It depends, but I try to get up early around uh 5:30, 6 o'clock, and drink my coffee, watch TV, and try to start something creative in the morning for a little bit. Try to write a story or uh, read something motivational or just try to do something and then start my day. I go to a community center for people with disabilities, and we do different activities and so forth. And they bring us on different little outings and stuff. And I do that 4 days a week. If you hear a beeping, that's my clock. So please forgive that. If it's a chime, that's my clock. It's reaching, uh, But
No, it's all right.
but yeah,
I've actually heard worse noises from my flatmates every time they go out clubbing. I'm currently in student accommodation, and every time my flatmates go out clubbing, I always hear them screaming and shouting, like going crazy, and yeah, it gets all the other neighbors like wild mad. But you know
you
what?
know,
But you know what? I'm used to that kind of noise, so it doesn't faze me in the slightest.
okay, I just let people know. They thought people think it's a doorbell, but it's just my clock chiming. But I I start my day and enjoy it, and on the weekends I just relax. And you never know when I do an interview. I My schedule is very sporadic. I don't my show is not a scheduled program. It just depends whenever an interview falls on. I schedule interviews. It could be on a weekend, on a weekday, afternoon, morning, night, and it keeps my life interesting. I enjoy it.
Good for you. What what would be some of the downsides to certain superpowers?
Well, uh, I guess one that comes to mind is where you read minds, which would be interesting, but then because if you read someone's mind, you learn something maybe you're not supposed to know, or if you are in a distance with reading everyone's mind, all those thoughts crowd your mind and it's overwhelming. That's what comes to mind when I think about reading minds. It's just overwhelming and can't think your own thoughts. Uh, and then uh, I think that's it for me. That's all I can think of.
Oh, okay, fair enough. If you could create your own job title, what would it be?
Well, uh, uh, I would say talker. I'm a that most of my work is talking. I interviewing and talking to actors, and then acting is talking, and voiceovers talking. Would say freelance talker, or professional freelance talker, or something like that.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I can see that. It all fits together like a piece of Legos. If you could turn any activity into an Olympic sport, would you have a good chance at winning a medal for it?
Let's see. Hmm. Any activity into an Olympic sport. Maybe writing a story, or writing different things, or drawing. I'm very good at drawing and writing. I think I'm confident in myself. I could win a medal for that.
Okay, cool, cool. What sort of terrain would you thrive best in?
Hmm. Well, uh, I love the winter weather, so uh, I would probably say maybe in like a cold area, cold environment, like somewhere that is very cold, like maybe certain parts of Canada or somewhere where it's very cold. I would like to be somewhere where it's winter all the time. It's just, I like it. I feel good when I go out in winter weather. It just feels, it makes me feel alive. I don't know how to explain it, but hot weather I really don't suit well in. It's just especially where I live at in the South here in the United States, Louisiana and Mississippi. Just the hot weather is bad enough, but with the humidity, it's just terrible. I prefer winter.
Yeah, me too. And also miss the days where it was always snowing during Christmas time, but now it just snows in the middle of March. Like, what the fuck? I can't deal with that kind of shake. Like, come on. Like, come on. Bring it to the good old days. Stop stealing our snow,
Absolutely.
Norway. Yeah, so fun fact, Norway steals most of our snow throughout the December and then gives it to us at the last minute. It's like, yeah, thanks, Norway, but a bit late, but okay. Yes. If you could have an unlimited supply of one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Hmm. Well, I I would say money. Everyone could use a lot of money, but then I think about the pros and cons of a lot of things. Yes, you would be financially stable with a lot of money, but then when you have a lot of money, you don't. What's the point? You don't have anything to. You can buy everything you want. Yeah, but money doesn't make you happy. That you can't buy happiness. You can't buy love. But I guess endless amount of something. I I would say money, but I'm trying to think. Maybe uh, I like to read, so maybe an endless supply of books. So different books. I can read a lot of books. That would keep me happy.
Cool, cool. What is your favorite holiday tradition?
Well, I like Christmas and Thanksgiving. Uh, I don't come from a big family. It's just me and my parents, really. So we didn't really have a lot of uh, traditions. But for the past few years, for Christmas, we're from Louisiana, so we eat a lot of Cajun food and seafood and all that. And my dad would always cook a gumbo for Christmas, something different than ham or turkey or all that. So we would have a seafood gumbo, and that became a tradition, So I guess I would say that.
Okay, that's cool. What app can you not believe someone hasn't made yet?
Hmm. Uh, well, I there's so many apps now. A lot of people. There's apps for everything. I really don't know because I don't use a lot of apps. I use a lot of social media for my interviews and stuff, but um, maybe an app for just an social media app. Maybe uh, people is just my idea. People who are autistic that's in the entertainment industry, like people that have autism, trying to find other people like them and connect with them.
Yeah, I can see that. So, what food have you never eaten but you really want to try someday?
I've never tried any English food, anything English food. But I would like to. I hear a lot. I have a lot of friends in the UK, and they say their food is very good. I would like to try it. I love food, so I would I'd try it if I liked it. I'd definitely try it.
Okay, sounds good. What's the most interesting documentary you've ever watched?
Hmm. Well, I'm trying to think. I watch a lot of documentaries about actors and people in history, and there was one that it was a documentary of, I would say, fan made. It was a guy who did documentaries. It wasn't very not a network, but it was this guy who did documentaries on his own, and it was about a American interviewer and TV host a long time ago in the from the 60s to the 90s, Johnny Carson. He did the Tonight Show, and uh, it was interesting to me to learn about him because he interviewed people like me, and but his personal life was very interesting. He was very uh, outgoing and very charismatic with interviews and on audience with the audience for his show. But in real life and personal life, he was very shy. He was very not mean, but very stern, very strict. He was very shy. It it's like a double sided coin. It's because I think interviewers are performers as well. They're actors too because they have to convey interest and enthusiasm to their audience for the interview and for their subjects for their shows and stuff.
Hmm. Okay. Cool, cool. If someone wrote a book about you, what do you think its title would be?
Well, something creative, I guess. Something, I guess, because a lot of people say I'm very creative, very eccentric, uh, which I really don't find myself eccentric, but I mean, people can think what they think of me. I really don't care, but uh, I guess the man with an eccentric voice, because people say I have a very whimsical voice, and I kind of find I have a very interesting voice. It's not very low or very. It's in the middle, and it's a little. I have a little story. It's when I first went into voiceovers. They have to voice test you. They fit you in a certain category, and they fitted me like very voicing, like they said my voice is like a imp, elfish, impish, just very whimsical. And so I guess it was something to do with my voice.
Yeah, I can see that. What flavor of ice cream do you wish existed?
Hmm. Uh, Gosh. Uh, well, I like a red velvet cake. Maybe red velvet cake flavored ice cream. That would be interesting if they haven't made that already. I don't know.
Oh yes, red velvet's my favorite. That would be a great ice cream flavor. What's the best thing you've ever bought off Amazon?
Say that again.
What is the best thing you've bought off Amazon?
Oh, let's see. Because I do a lot of Amazon shopping and eBay shopping. I bought maybe about 2 years ago. I bought a little, and it's very simple. It's a space heater. It's an artificial fireplace, and it looks like a fireplace, but it's a space heater, and I like it. It's That's one of the best little things I bought because it keeps you warm during the winter. I run it. Really don't have to run my central heat. Because that little heater just keeps you warm for me. And that was the best little thing, and it was cheap. And you find little deals like that on Amazon, and it's and people say, well, you don't need that, and we're like, well, I don't need it, but I want it. know. Uh, and if you have extra money for it, you can indulge yourself sometimes.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What was the funniest moment you've had?
Funniest moment. Well, I'm trying to think. There's been a few. Uh, I just. Uh, I'm trying to think. Well, I do remember. Uh, funny for me. I guess I could call it embarrassing as well, but I I stutter a little bit. I have a small I have a little tiny stuttering problem. So I would get words mixed up, or I would talk very fast and get them jumbled up. And I was doing an interview, and I mispronounced because it was very serious, uh, very serious. I was interviewing a writer, and I was trying to say the name of his book, and I couldn't remember, and I didn't have the book in front of me, and I was just babbling on, and I finally got it right. And I told the person, I said, "I'm sorry, I couldn't remember." He said, "Well, you nailed it anyway," and I'm like, well, thank you, and I laugh at myself. I make fun of myself, and I think that's a good thing because, uh, just poke fun at yourself, have fun.
Exactly. And that's what I always do every single week. So you can't you already so of course you have your own radio show.
Yes, yeah.
Is there any particular guest that you haven't brought on but you want to bring on at some point?
Well, there was a lot because I interview a lot of actors that are very not old, but just actors that were well known back in the day before my time. I'm only 22, but just actors, and I would have liked to interviewed actors that were right now. That's a lot of actors that I would like to interview have passed away now. Like I would have liked to interview a lot of the British actors, international actors like Sir Christopher Lee or uh, Vincent Price, Sir Peter Cushing. I was close to interviewing an actor. He's not British. He was from Sweden. Uh, an actor named Max von Sydow, and I was very close to interviewing him, but something happened with our schedules, and it didn't happen. And then a few months later, he passed away, and I was very looking forward to interviewing him because he was a very interesting actor and one of my favorites. He did a lot of movies with the director Igmar Bergman, and very international. He did, you know, uh, United States, and then English films, and then he did international films. So it was very. I was very sad when I wasn't able to interview him, but life goes on.
Okay, cool, cool. And that is all we have for this episode. It was great having you here, Trey, talking about your radio show and catching up from the last season or whatever. And yeah, and so on. It's been fabulous.
Thank you for having me again. It's always a pleasure.
Anytime. And until next time, stay tuned for more.